But let's get this race started, and I can start figuring out all of this. I'm going to pass this to your commentators, Demarine and Rivers McCown. So enjoy.
Fairly new to the game. He started playing probably about a year ago. The randomizer has only recently been his focus, so he's pretty good at, he knows 64 run. He's had a lot of experience with that. And Alexa graced our community fairly recently as well. She had a pretty good run there for a little bit, kind of, did her own thing for a little bit. Now we're going to see her get back on track today, live and on twitch.tv/highspirits. So, Demron, are you ready for this race?
I am ready for this race. Alexa was part of the April influx that actually brought in myself, Invenerable, Nightdew. I see Nightdew is in the chat, so hi Nightdew. So a lot of people sort of came in with the randomizer around that time, and it was really interesting. So it's kind of a good time overall, but I'm really ready to see these two get off to a good start, hopefully, in these very difficult flags.
All right, we are waving the flag to tell Mr. High Spirits to get everybody to start going.
All right, and we are about to hit the road here. This is, very exciting. What do we expect to see in the first few minutes of this run at this point?
Only bad things, because we can only root for bad things. That's what I've learned from all commentary.
Yeah, no, being a decently experienced commentator has shown that we only want terrible things. We don't want Rosa showing up here, but that's what we got.
Oh, that's too bad. So Rosa is probably one of the 3 best characters in the game, depending on where you're at, what kind of stats you got, and all that stuff. But DKC should weigh this down. It's going to be, because of the flag settings, kind of hard to do damage early. With no shops, so they're going to have to find some treasures to actually do damage. The only thing that you'll see in the shops with these flags are cabins, so they can only heal. They can't actually buy like sirens or items or anything like that. They have to actually just grind their way through things at times.
Yeah, they're definitely be hoping for bows and tools that they can use to sort of give themselves an advantage, especially with Rosa, who to full effect. Item that they received was the rat tail, so that's useless on its own as well.
Yeah, it's a good time for everybody. The silent staff that they picked up in Baron Inn, both of them are doing Baron first. Silent staff is their first real offensive sort of weapon. They can plop down Rosa and get average damage maybe for early game. So both of them are going to have to take their time to build up some characters and some weapons here.
Yeah, they've also found in Baron Town, assuming they both do the back grass, there is 1 coffin and 1 siren, also known in the community as 34,000 experience points.
Yeah, for those of you who have never played this randomizer, there is a grind fight that we actually had no idea about in vanilla FF2 that works because of the siren call, and you can go pick up a egg fight against a yellow dragon, which only has, I think, 1,800 HP, and you kill that, and that's worth 34,000 experience. So it's kind of the default grind for a lot of categories of this run. Without sirens and stores, though, makes it a little bit different in this specific setting.
Yeah, I'm certain that we'll get to talking about the kind of the grind methodology for these 2 runners a little bit later on. So of course, Rivers, I know, being kind of one of the heads of the community here, how do you feel about the fact that we're doing this to support such a good cause today?
I'm a big fan of RPG-Chick because when I went to RPG Limit Break this year, RPG-Chick gave me a Rosa Perler, proving that she knows and has great taste about what is the best character in this game.
It is definitely Rosa. It is.
So I couldn't feel more happy and grateful to be helping out such a worthy cause, such a great streamer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good to come out and, support somebody who's just such a pillar of the community. She's been so supportive of a lot of the new runners. I know, she and I have gotten the opportunity to interact so little, but she seems awesome already. So, all right.
So getting wizard staffs, getting black belts, getting strength rings, a lot of rating early on, as you would expect from these flags. And looks like somebody is diving Antlion Cave first, which has the most chests of any of the early dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen 3 silent staffs at this point as well, which would have been fantastic if they could buy anything in shops other than cabins as well.
And Swimmy is finding a lot of white arrows, so not a lot helpful here.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing about having DKC to start though is that a lot of your early game weaponry is very limited because he only can equip 3 weapons.
yeah, and only 3 pieces of armor. Like, they found a strength ring and mist earlier, but that does them no good until they can either get a character that can equip it or can get, DK Cecil promoted at Mount Ordeals. All right, first route divergence. It looks like we have Alexa, who has decided to gear up a little bit, take a save outside of Mount Hobbs, searching for the first character of the game.
Yeah, she did find that darkness sword, and for once, it's actually kind of useful here.
Yeah, we're in we'll take what we can get mode right now, and that is an upgrade.
So the bosses are all going to be randomized as far as locations. So let's see what Alexa pulls here. Well, I've seen this picture before. This is DKC. Can't you survive 3 turns of these characters? Is the question. Or is this no? Yeah.
No, this is K2. It's not about surviving at this point now. It's about you've got to put out lethal damage.
No. That's into. That's the into flag.
I apologize. So, why do I have that backwards in my notes?
Anyway, Swimmy is over here fighting the officer-soldier fight, which is pretty easy even in this spot. All these soldiers have poor accuracy, except for the one in the front row because they're attacking from the back row. And so this will be a fairly simple fight for him as well.
Yeah, and since how the hit points split up is that they split proportionally to how the hit points split in the vanilla game, percentage-wise, you only need to kill the 3 front soldiers, and their health is very low.
Justice is not the only right in this world, though, Demerin. Someday you will see.
Blarg.
And Porum down. So Porum does not get that sweet experience, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Alexa does have a 3rd character now.
Yep, and she's gonna keep looting this here mountain while the soldiers go down, and we're gonna see our first key item spot of the game, and it is the pass. What does that do for our runners?
So the pass was something that we designed in this game. It's actually in the base game, but the pass kind of takes you to this, like, for lack of a better term, like a burlesque sort of bar area. And in this game, instead, it takes you straight to Zeramus. So should our runners happen to find a crystal early enough, they will be able to head right to Zeramus without doing any of the moon. That's fairly unlikely given these flags, but not impossible.
Yep. And of course, speaking about being supportive of RPG Chick, I know I have put my money where my mouth is for these 2 runners, which is that I've decided to pledge up $2 per boss that they take down, 4 for a lunar boss, and 8 if they happen to run aground a wyvern and put her in the ground as well. So, I'm hoping that they do go through a lot of locations and upend a lot of bosses, to support the community and to support, again, support RPG Chick.
So if I can talk about what happened on Swimmy's stream just here. He picked up a Boreas in the little Toria treasure interlude area that isn't the real one because he doesn't have her crystal, but he picked up the Boreas, and early on that's a really overpowered item. It's something that we actually had to increase price on and decrease frequency on in early game in the J2 J item settings. So that can cast Ice 2 on every enemy in a battle right away, and I would not be surprised if that led him to think that perhaps he could take on some things earlier.
Yeah, I know that just from my own testing, like things like Baron Inn, where the hit points start getting up, a little bit higher. The Boreas is nice, but you need to have like 4 to 7 of them. One alone is not going to really cut the mustard for stepping up in difficulty.
Yeah, so they both are kind of retracing each other's steps right here. We'll see if somebody can actually keep Porum alive. The Boreas not really mattering at this point, but you also saw him pick up a rune axe over there, and the rune axe is a fairly good in-game weapon for Cecil. Not like his best stuff by far, but has a lot of utility as far as what character's going to flip it. It's kind of like the kind of your mediocre in-game item as far as who can have what. So yeah, he's at least a little prepared now. Or yeah, he is.
Yeah, and in T3, that's probably one of the best weapons that you're going to find out there in the treasure chests that are untrapped treasure chests. So I'm sure he's going to be very happy for that.
Swimmy run buffering in futility there, trying to keep Porum alive. So his Porum also went down in that fight, and Alexa taking her first inventory break.
Yeah, one of the biggest things is that, we still have the limited inventory. If anybody's played Final Fantasy IV Vanilla, you'll realize that the inventory is not, unlimited like a lot of later games because memory limitations. So they're going to be working around that a lot.
Yeah, both the inventory and the actual amount of slots for inventory in the game are very limited. So it led to some design decisions such as removing the item summons that you can get as rare drops and replacing them with other summons like Bahamut and whatnot that you could get a little earlier. So it looks like Swimmy will be the first to Fabul. Fabul is probably the second easiest of these key item locations to do. And he's got that Boreas in his back pocket, so he might get to use that right away.
Yeah, it depends upon what kind of difficulty boss he gets. While Alexa, of course, picks up her pass and is going to use the exit she found on Hobbs to bail out of here.
Those sweet, sweet seconds.
Right, time is of the essence. Going to crack the Boreas on the Dark Imps, but it doesn't quite do enough damage. But they're not hitting terribly hard in this location either, it looks like.
Yeah, Swimmy should be able to take these guys out with one more round of attacks. Yeah, that's not too bad. This location isn't actually incredibly tough, but yeah, as you can see from what happened to Porum there, they do have a little bit of bite to them.
Yeah, it looks like Swimmy made the decision to leave Porum out in front to try and get in silent staff swings, and she paid the price.
Oh, she was silenced, all right. So extra experience for Porum now. Everybody getting buffed a little bit more. Be curious to see if the play now is Ordeals because of having Dark Knight Cecil, or if they want to try to do Baron Inn first for the extra character. Did they actually check in and see who that was, by the way?
They did. They may have, and I might have missed it.
Okay, so you blanked out as well. Cool.
Yeah, I think we were still in intro mode, and so we might have just bailed on it.
But they got the Sand Ruby, so they can pick up another character from the Vanilla Rose location. And Swimmy finding in these pots and chests the Tiara, which is a premium defensive armor for both of his ladies right now, as well as something terrific for Rydia should she show up. That will boost her attack magic.
Well, since chat is letting us know, we've got multiple people letting us know Rydia is in play. She is in the Baron Inn as well.
Well, there you go.
So, one of the big things with these flags is that characters are at a premium because with the no free lunch flag, it takes all of the free characters out of the plot locations. So there's no character at, Watery Pass or Mount Ordeals or the two at Mysidia, the one at Damison. They don't exist.
Kane behind the Sand Ruby. That is a pretty big swing right here because having picked up the Blizzard Spear, you finally got kind of a mid-game damage dealer. Doesn't make it easy by any figment of the imagination, but much better than having to try to build a party around Cecil attacks and like bows from the back row.
Yeah, no, and jump with the Blizzard Spear will do 4 times damage, so if you catch the right bosses, you could be doing, immense amount of damage even at low levels.
Yeah, Kane is going to be the workhorse for a while here. And since these guys have looted all these chests, they're finding a lot of pretty good armor as well. So he should be durable. The thing with Kane and with a lot of the physical attackers in this game, though, is they get a lot better the more experience they get. So while he's got a lot of multipliers now, even doing one more fight will really boost him up as far as how much damage he's going to do.
Yeah, and so Alexa's going to go get Kane as well and probably be very happy for that, while Swimmy is going to start climbing Mount Ordeals here.
All right, the Ordeals play. And this has actually been a fairly generous seed for the flags that they've been using because of that early Rune Axe and the early Blizzard Spear.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, the early character selection's also been very friendly at this point in time, giving you Kane and a white mage, so can't complain about that.
I actually don't know if somebody knows that you can actually use that Rune Axe on Kane or not, but somebody will get that Rune Axe. Yeah, there you go.
I actually don't necessarily agree with the Rune Axe play here because, again, the jump multiplier for a spear is ×4 instead of ×2. So I like having the better jumps because I don't want Kane on the ground where he can die.
Oh, and look, it's Yang, our party member, except this time we're going to have to fight him. One great thing about Free Enterprise is that Yang appears in a lot of places. And this fight is scripted in the vanilla game to end when Cecil attacks him after the second kick, I believe. And in this one, Karate, as he is called, has a punch attack and a kick attack. And in this specific slot, fortunately for Swimmy, not doing a lot of damage. So this should be a pretty free fight, just as long as he holds A long enough.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. Holding down A is always nice, especially with Kane, who's got a decent weapon. We have a root divergence, of course, because I think, Alexa loves Rydia far, far too much, I think. And so wanted to go retrieve her at this point and found Odin in the first boss spot in Baronin.
Alexa swagging here with that Blizzard item toss. Look at that. A lot of people don't actually know that you can do that, but yeah, the mid-level Kane weapons do have weapon spells on them that aren't necessarily that good, but worthy of some swag. And Antlion here behind Odin. So this is a physical attacker. A physical attacker is not what you want to see in this spot. She is in some amount of danger here, but at least she's got people in the back row. And she's going to start stacking armor. Armor doesn't see a lot of use in speedruns of the game, but it does pop up your physical defense a little bit every time you use it, and it does stack. So probably going to see a lot of this for this fight while she tries to survive.
And with double white mages, she can stack it up very quickly, so it will keep her team.
Ooh, CPU at Ion Z is a rough fight for where Swimmy is right now.
Yeah, with double white mages, the only threat of dying is running out of MP at this point. But otherwise, well, we're just going to be here a while.
Yeah, these are two pretty slow fights on the stream right now, for sure.
Yeah. One of the big notes is that the Antlion counter script only comes from the fight command. So Cecil's doing nothing while Kane is waving the Blizzard Spear around. But Kane could also be jumping right now to get a little bit of additional damage.
Kane could be jumping here, you're right. So CPU fight, kind of the main thing you'll see people do is take out the defending orb, because it will keep healing otherwise, and then you've got to do back row damage to that CPU orb. Kane being here is actually really good for that, but unfortunately, it just given the way the party composition sets up and how early it is, it's just going to be a really slow fight because they don't have anybody else who can really put damage on anybody.
Yep, Gonna just try and do a little bit of damage with the Rose Bow here. Just every point matters right now for getting this over with.
Yeah, I would say back attack CPU is definitely a resident sleeper. Agree, chat?
It's good to see a lot of the free enterprise community out here stopping by, saying hi, supporting.
Supporting for sure. You know, I guess ready for some donations?
Great time for donations, yes.
Because these fights might take a while. Okay, so we did have some swings in the naming incentives right now. A lot of donations for it. We got a $25 donation from OPT Lawyer. It says, awesome event, happy to be out. Or happy to help out. A $100 donation from Supremacy037. $50 to FFE character incentive for the name Rivers. $50 for board with an O as an O, as a 0 as an O. So those two are in the top 5 now. $20 from NightDew14. Time for FE. Time for this then. Good luck to both runners. And more hopes to see RPGC in many future races. Donation to Commentary's Choice. So you still have to fight over that $20. And one more. Transqueena donated $46.50. Hope everyone is enjoying the marathon. Thanks for letting me participate. Put this towards killing Maxwell, the Lord of the Spirits. Wait, I thought this was Maxwell from Tales of Xillia. Guess we'll have to kill the Tales of Symphonia version instead. And with that, right now, Tingle is in the lead. The top 5 names, I should say, for characters when they get into Go mode is Tingle, Choco, Board, Rivers, and Demon.
All right, Demeron, you want to take that 20? You go for it.
I mean, you know that any money that I get is going towards taking Couch's sword away for Zelda 3 randomizer, right?
Well, there you have it. Okay, so while we were off stream here, Alexa completing Baron got the Baron key, but ran right to Ordeals, and we're just about to see what she will win once she finishes off CPU and Yang here.
Well,
well,
we're going to be underestimate.
Wow. Well, this was a jet seed. But they still need to find a way underground. That's their main thing right here. And of course, Golbez is going to hang out and taunt them for a while too.
Yeah, and kill 2 of the party members. And this spot is notorious for being one of the lowest speed spots in the game. So we're going to be here a while again.
So yeah, the crystal is the only real Go mode item you need. You also could take either the pass or the darkness crystal. However, in this case, both runners heavily incentivized to actually head up to Ordeals, kind of a rare spot in a lot of seed combinations we would roll. But having Cecil early, having the Rune Axe, of course, having like an in-game weapon for him, pushed them both here. And yeah, so we're both going to see Crystal and Pass super early. The only question is if they're going to stay alive long enough to kill Golbez here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much magic damage this slot does. I don't know if Swimmy's about to get blown up or not.
It's not too bad here. It's just a matter of his speed because Golbez is innately pretty fast and just keeps pounding out those high-level spells.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out that is that Alexa picked up a Moon Veil in the chest here, so that could come into play a little bit later as well. The Moon Veil gives everybody who uses it the wall, but also the barrier status, which makes them invincible to physical attacks and direct magic attacks. So, like, it's a pretty powerful weapon and something that you kind of use a lot in runs like this.
Yeah, and there's actually going to be a fantastic place to use it really soon because at the beginning cutscene, you get to see what the first boss in Baron is, and the first boss in Baron is King Bahamut. So that's going to be kind of the ticket to getting out of that fight in one piece because the damage might still be low.
So we'll see if Swimmy actually picks that up on his way down. Everybody getting brought back up here for Swimmy, I guess in the name of safety, doesn't really have to do a lot more to win this fight. Yeah. And so he has his crystal and his pass, and he now needs to find a way to find monsters to grind on, basically. And that means he's going to try to continue to find a way to the underworld and possibly keep going for the darkness crystal if he feels like it. He doesn't have to. Kind of his call on that.
Yeah, the route to the underworld has to be through. Let's see. So they've done Antlion, they've done Fabul, they've now done Ordeals, but he still needs to do Baron Town at this point to get the Baron Key to go to Baron Underground. So that's the only route that we have right now.
Yep. I guess alternately, he could just sit there and grind on, what are they called, Liliths for like an hour and a half. But yeah, that's the only real routing decision he has at this point is heading down there, heading down to Baron Castle once he gets the Baron Key.
We've got Kedril in chat hoping for a hook in Baron. Kedril, you're a bad person and I like you.
Yeah, if you've never seen the this run happen, there are two key items that can take you underground. One of them is the magma key, which just blows a hole into the underground and makes things really nice and easy. The other one is the hook, which takes you through Ebwin Cave and goes you through a bunch of tough bosses. So that one, if you're rooting for the trolls, that's the one you want.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that one race we had with Ashura in that slot down there, and all of us just hammering our heads on the wall for varying amounts of time. Alright, so, we've got Swimmy now in Baron, and Alexa is taking on the very slow orbs at this point. So, Rivers, what goes into making a randomizer like this anyway?
Time, effort, a lot of thought, really. I mean, just... I can't tell you from the coding side what happens because that's Board's baby and I'm more game design, but a lot of what we try to focus on together when we talk is, how can we present more choices to people that they'll actually think about doing? How can we make things a little bit more varied and a little bit more unusual than you'd find in some randomizers? And that's a lot of what we talk about.
Neat. So, Rydia with the Dragon Whip and, having the extra character on CPU is helping get us through that a little bit more quickly, thankfully, on Alexa's side.
Yeah, but the Luca key could, to talk to what Night was talking about in the chat, the Luca key would give them access to trapdoors and also potentially access to manticores, which, if they find that battle, also has 30,000 experience. It's going to be interesting to see, depending on how jetty the seed is, if they're actually going to try to get 10 key items or not, because one of the things with the X2 flag that they're both playing with is that if you get 10 key items, your experience starts getting doubled. So if they can hold on to the grind just a little bit longer, if they have those 10 key items, then the grind can be a lot shorter. So it'll be interesting to see kind of, if it is a hook seed, how far down they get before they start trying to take it pure go mode. Especially in seed settings like this, where they don't necessarily have a lot of free access to stuff.
Yeah, the math is a little bit more friendly on K1, where the 17 key items are only in the 17 plot spots between Overworld and Underworld. Because because they've decided to roll on K2, it adds the two bosses in Land of Summon Monsters, Odin in Baron Castle, and then the Moon to the things that they could do potentially.
Hey, how about a couple more donations here?
How about them?
We got
Tell them to us.
Fine then, I will. Jeez, don't pressure me. We got $5 from Lucas Kemp Cook. Glad to see the community coming out to support. $25 from Exodin with no message. And Chrism Phoenix donated $25. Keep the White Mage tradition alive. Name Rosa or Palom after our dear Demarine. Well, Demarine is on the board, but unfortunately is $15 behind 5th place right now for names.
Well, Demarine, I guess you got to rally your supporters here.
If they don't support me, they don't get healed. So, you know.
Shots fired? Question mark. Anyway, Swimmy doing the Baron key now, so you can see he's picking up every chest that he can here. Kind of interesting because he left a lot of them on ordeals, and he's going to be running into Baron Castle to face our friend. You said it was Bahamut there.
Yeah, it was Bahamut in slot 1.
So there are 2 bosses in the Baron Castle, and you need to beat them both to get the key item. Alternately, because it's K2, he could try to take on the Odin boss for a potential key item spot as well.
Yeah, that spot's a little bit higher on the difficulty curve, though. A little bit dangerous at this point in the game.
Correct, yeah.
Well, Alexa gets out with Kane at least, so should probably make short work of Golbez in just a moment. And there is the king on Swimmy's screen right now. And also, Alexa threw up the Moon Veil, but there's, one interesting thing is that the magic defense for Porum, I believe, and the low hit rate in this area, the low stats in this slot, means that the lightning 3s that she was trying to wall back just missed.
Oh man, some more Edward chat. Chat loves Edward, let me tell you.
I mean, Edward is the true mascot of Free Enterprise.
He's something, all right. I don't know if mascot's the right word, but he's something.
He sure is a character that you get sometimes.
He definitely exists, I can confirm. So it looks like somebody's not in really any big danger here. Just piling on damage to this Bahamut.
Yep. Down goes the dragon. After hitting Bahamut with 2 slows, which really helped the cause immensely to keep his timer from running out more quickly.
So we've got 2 Cecils already. Sorry, everybody has the same party right now. Cecil, Kane, 2 white mages, and Rydia. Be interesting to see who they get here, because they do get another free character after they defeat the Baron boss, and they've got access to this big Baron treasury, which I think Swimmy is going to start working on right here.
No, Swimmy opts out, it looks like. Grabs an elixir, though, from those 3 chests, so super useful for the end fights. And so Alexa is going to be following shortly behind, swimming here as she flies over to Baron Town to get to the underground.
And look, it's Dr. Luggage.
And his giant robot friend, who really doesn't have a name.
His name is Balnab, don't you see? Go, Balnab, go. So this fight is actually a really nice fight when it's in an early spot, because it actually will cut his HP into the 3 forms, which is Dr. Luge, Dr. Luge 2, and Balnab. So that 4,000 HP of this character slot is split in a way that makes everybody a little bit easier to take down early. And especially for a party like this that doesn't have a lot of direct damage right now, it's kind of a relief more than a challenge at this point. And of course, you see Swimmy has Berserk now. So Bursk, as it's called, is one of the best spells in the game. It increases your damage done by 1.5x, and it also happens to make your character go super fast. So pretty easy way to deal with the end of this fight.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing a ton of that throughout the run potentially for high HP spots to get these two physical damage dealers up to speed in a hurry. Also, Bursk is a giant meme in the community.
Thanks to Alexa mainly,
Yeah.
who also is a giant meme in the community.
Not inaccurate.
So Luque doing some annoying things right here. He counters with gas early on, and then he'll throw this poison out here. This poison, it doesn't matter if you have adamant armor on, this poison will always hit you because it's multi-targeted, and the game kind of broke multi-targeting in that way. But that also means that the Bursk isn't going to hit, and because the poison has a higher status priority for whatever reason. And so now he's going to have to figure out a heal path. Thankfully, he has two white mages watching him, which Demarin knows helps out a lot.
I'm a fan of those safe double white mage strats. As characters go, do you think they could have done any better here?
Picking up the old man. Well, the old man actually isn't the best thing you could find here, only because of the potential to grind. You might not want to take him all the way up with the F2 flag. So basically the way Fusuya is implemented in the set of flags is that he starts with a certain amount of HP and spells, and then he gets more HP and more spells every time you defeat a boss. So because this could be a jet seed, Fu might be somewhat inconvenient in that they might have to slow down and fight some more bosses. However, for the most part, I mean, this is a really nice setup for both of our players, and that's, I mean, they have 5 characters, and the worst one is arguably Porum, so that's pretty good.
All right, I have just thrown my arms in the air. Everybody, chat, you're gonna get what you want. We're gonna be here we're gonna be here a little bit longer tonight because we're gonna have to take the long route down. However, Fusuya has nuke. That's not fair. That takes out Never mind. Not even hype anymore.
Fake hype. So Nuke and Quake for Fu on his early spells before we even get him maxed out. Looks like Swimmy might take out some extra bosses along the way too. He's gonna get the hook first, but you can get 100 extra HP, and as I said, 3 extra spells every time you fight a boss. So potentially could be on the table to fight someone like the Octoman boss or the Mist Dragon boss slot that you rarely see in this randomizer.
Alexa's fighting the inventory boss right now as well. But of course, on my side, the big thing is that I think it's not so bad because by that time they had both killed 10 bosses at that point when they get Fusuya. So, they're already 2/3 of the way down the spell table.
Wow, I can't believe Alexa threw away a free 3 Eagle Eyes. I mean, clearly the best item in the game.
We'll go with that. I'm good. Villain Fetishist in chat mentioning that Swimmy forgot the hovercraft. Nope, Swimmy's been practicing the league flags, and in No Free Lunch, a lot of the top runners don't release the hovercraft until they need it. Why waste time watching a cutscene that if everyone's going to need to watch it, then you watch it.
So Swimmy is going to be turning in his rat tail early, given that he has the hook now. So perhaps he will see a way out of the hook seed. And I should also point out that our runners still do have access to Odin, so they could do that too if they don't want to dive hook immediately.
There was a protect ring though, so not gonna really get them anywhere.
A free protect ring is pretty nice for these flags though, so definitely a worthwhile pickup.
Yep, plop it on your white mage and have a good time.
Odin can hold magma on these flags, I believe, yeah. So
That happened during the Invitational, interestingly enough. You wouldn't have known that, Rivers, because you were racing in it. But that's what happened with Couch.
who?
Couch 23, noted runner of Kefka Narsh, one of the top Final Fantasy 4 and 6 runners out there, and generally great guy in the community.
I never heard of him. Anyway. So Alexa did take that save. It'll be curious to see if she actually wants what she actually wants to do here. Swimmy actually trying to take out some chests here. It's a curious play given the T3 nature of everything. Though I guess you could find some good things.
You could still find some of the top flight things that don't exist otherwise.
You can find the cat claw.
You could find a crystal sword. I mean, you could also find some of the lower tier gear that's also in those chests and get a whole lot of nothing, but who knows?
So Swimmy looks like he's about to show off one of my favorite ways to defeat Mad Ogres, which is to make them tiny mages.
And now they're gigantic fists, which normally punch you into submission like they did to Kane. Can't really do that anymore.
Yeah, now you see they a little bit easier to take down once they're only doing 1 damage a turn, and also gain a lot of vulnerability to physical attacks.
So wait, Rivers, it looks like Forum just cast life on a corpse. What just happened there? Why didn't it come back to life?
So Swimmy is abusing what we call the life glitch in this game. Monsters were designed in a way where they don't have a vitality stat. And since Life 1 actually looks at vitality to determine what HP it will revive something at, in this case, the Mad Ogre was revived at 0 HP and instantly died again. So that is a way that we get experience, extra experience in this run, and Swimmy is abusing the Mad Ogres for some little extra XP at this point. And the other thing that's important here is that Cecil with that rune axe is putting on some work.
Well, and the first treasure that Swimmy gets is the Stardust Rod, which I'm sure has been very excited because he slaps that onto Fusoya for, the extreme increase in magic stats for dealing the magic damage.
Yeah, he got both the Charm Rod and the Stardust Rod. The Stardust Rod actually boosts you plus 15 on the magic stat, and when you consider that you only need 4 of a stat to get a multiplier roll, which is how everything's determined in this game, is how it's kind of the base damage times this many multiplier points. Basically, he got 4 free multiplier rolls for any black magic spell he casts now. So that's pretty nice.
Especially because Fusoya's stats don't change otherwise. He starts with a relatively strong 50 in both magic stats, but, 65 is way better.
Yes, the enemies were gaining more experience every time Swimmy used a life potion, or a life spell in this case, on them. This is a really nice party given, poor Alexa having to choose which Babby will go.
She chooses Porum over Rydia, so, first party divergence, but, again, she's sticking to her personal brand, which I appreciate greatly.
Boo!
I mean, I love double white mages, but, she's got her convictions, and that's okay, too.
Boo! Nah, it's fine.
I'm on Team Porum. What do you want from me, Rivers? What do you want?
They're going to run into another character, by the way, in Ebon Cave. Assuming that Alexa doesn't find magma with Odin or something. So these are not definitely set parties yet. And to answer a previous chat question, yes, if you make Kane's vitality low enough, he can revive at 0 HP as well. So we've also had some fun bugs early game with early game Rydia where she can revive with more HP than she would normally have at level 1. So yeah, the randomizer has taught us a lot of things.
We've got Alexa quickly looting the 3 chests here in Silveria, so just looking for more stuff along the way. Doesn't really get anything out of it.
This could be an opportunity for Alexa to catch up if she no-sells going in Evelyn Castle and just runs right toward Cave.
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of mid-game gear, and if she checks the spells in Fusoya and realizes that she's got Nuke and Quake at a decent power level, along with the Protect Ring, she would be probably pretty happy going in there and just, attempting to Nuke and Quake her way through it all.
Yeah, and at this point, the seed has been so linear, but really, there's not a whole lot either of them could do except for do Odin. Like, at this point, it's basically go down or do Odin. So nobody was avoiding ordeals the way the seed played out, and yeah, this is not really a hard choice at this point. Somebody just spend a lot of time picking up extra weaponry and armor from Evelyn Castle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you mentioned, it looks like Alexa's deciding to skip those treasure chests and just go straight underground.
For us here, Succubus is actually a really interesting thing to throw away in the seed too, because generally these Zero-Miss fights tend to be pretty long, and Succubus with Fu actually can bail him out of a tough situation. So, a little curious that she didn't keep that.
Yeah, no, a lot of items have real interesting utility, and honestly, I probably would have thrown it away too. A lot of the time, especially with tougher seeds, you've got to get creative with your thinking and how you decide to attack things in terms of items and gear and whatnot, because not all the options are always going to be available to you.
So somebody found a life potion there. That's a rarity in these seeds and kind of one of the most important items you can find in the game. That will enable him to potentially take, both of our owners are finding out, potentially take things a little bit riskier going into Zero-Miss. So it'll be curious to see how that impacts his strategy long term.
Yeah, no, every little bit certainly helps.
Hey, how about a couple more quick donations? Really quick. We had $20 from Fryth2042 with no message, and $50 from Bill Bodix that says RPG Heart. And both of them were kind enough to put the money towards Zelda 3 Randomizer Swordless Mode.
Well, thank you guys for the donations. I've been really impressed by how everybody's been pulling up the stops during this run. It really goes to show how great of a community we have put together.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the importance of community, but it's been just fantastic.
And we've got Edge, Vanilla Edge. So this party is decked to the gills already, and that's adding the fastest character in the game and possibly the best melee character in the game, depending on what weapons we have. And given that I think we have already seen 2 longswords, this is going to be a big add.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to take Edge no matter what, but with a Ninja Star in your inventory to help bail you out of bad situations as well, and then you've got Edge with the 2 swords on top of it, the high stats. He's got everything that you'd ever want.
And now our girl Porum has also been besmirched here as well. What will Alexa do?
Well, there goes our double white mage strats.
How deep do her convictions roll?
If she drops, keeping in mind that if she drops Rosa, I'll never speak with her again. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
I see only one longsword. Okay. But Edge is still a really nice character at this point.
Yeah, the longsword adds a bunch of damage on its own too, so, plus he comes pre-equipped with a black belt shirt as well, which is, a solid piece of armor for helping your speed go up.
Incentive unlocked. We've made Alexa get rid of Rydia. And yeah, neither runner checked Odin. So I think Alexa was the only one who found that moon veil. It's potentially free though, so I don't necessarily blame somebody for not checking it, but it is a interesting thing to note.
So Alexa did have the double up on the longsword, so she did see a second one that I guess Swimmy did not loot. They high five on the Staleman monster chest here right after getting Edge together.
And normally, if you had access to item shops, this would be a quick and easy fight where you would toss an hourglass out there and then just berserk it out. But both of them having to kind of weigh that against potentially having to do more later. And so you see them handle it a little bit differently than you might normally. Of course, given how good Fusoya is, it probably doesn't matter that much. Probably could have just clicked it out like Alexa did there. And their reward for all that was a stupid Blitz Whip.
Yeah, which, they already had a Dragon Whip, and Rydia's gone anyways. Right. Speaking of hourglasses, shout-outs to Silverfire, who got me into this community in the first place, and the fact that they yell at me all the time to use hourglasses on things. And the slow grind through the tower here, on our way to what can be two of the most fun boss spots in the game.
Fun is an objective term, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt.
So we're seeing both Swimmy and Alexa obviously taking every precaution they can to pick up every chest they can. Just a function of the mode without shops. So, you never know when you might find a Cure 3. This incentivizes pretty much opening every chest along the way you can see.
Yep. And Swimmy finds the one trap chest here on the final floor right before the boss spot.
And if you remember that earlier fight with 3 Mad Ogres, they're back. But there's another one this time. Things have changed radically, as you're about to see, or not see.
Yep. I do hope for one thing at this point, though. Just in case of really awful bosses, that Alexa just went in to save her game, where Swimmy did not go in and save his game.
Well, he may come back. We don't actually know. But yes, that is something to think about.
It's always nerve-wracking in my mind when I see somebody do that.
I think he may have wanted the cabin to go after the chest fight here. And so Size can miss, as you saw on Sumi's stream. So he's left kind of, waiting for everybody else to fight it out, knowing that the Size didn't do what he wanted it to do. It's something you can actually avoid most of the time by putting Fusoya in the middle slot. The middle slot in this game has been given kind of a gift as far as accuracy boosting, which does a lot more damage as well in normal circumstances, but it also increases hit rate for spells, and for status spells in particular, it actually is kind of helpful to have here.
Yeah, Swimmy didn't need to worry about that at the end of the day, though, because he also slapped the Assassin Dagger on Edge in his offhand, so He is instantly killing the Mad Ogres before they can do anything. He doesn't even have to deal the damage to them.
Yeah, the Assassin Dagger is a weapon dummied out of the vanilla FF4 game, but it happens to have a instant death attribute on it. It's one of, I think, 2 that have that, along with the Black Sword. Unfortunately, Slimmy not getting anything for his troubles here, but yeah, he's going to run back and save as predicted, which means potentially Alexa takes the lead. Who knows?
Who knows? There's a Lunar Staff, also known as 15,000 gold pieces.
In a world where 15,000 gold pieces don't actually matter anymore. Sad.
It mattered in the first qualifier race for the Free Enterprise League. By the way, we've got a league going on. Come out and watch our matches. They're real good. I'm sure there'll be more details on that later. But yeah, I think we ended up seeing like 4 lunar staves, and they were 15 grand a piece.
So our boss here is the Mega Sisters. This is actually a really big break for us again, because the Mega Sisters are not a very difficult boss slot here. This particular spot does not have a good magic attack roll normally, and so when it's randomized, a lot of the bosses that get put here can actually, go one-shot you or something. But here we've got 75 damage to Cecil, so pretty much a free fight right here.
Yeah, and we've got Cecil with that Rune Axe doing quad damage on top of everything else. So, if it couldn't be fast enough, he just shredded the front Magus Sister, just by looking at her funny.
Yeah, the racial modifier, as far as what it's called in the game, as far as attacking a weak link in the enemy data, is worth 4 times damage. So Rune Axe here does 4 times damage to Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy, because they are all mages, technically.
Speaking of mages, the second boss is going to be Dark Elf, who I believe is also a mage, if I remember correctly.
And Swimmy sees Dark Elf and runs right away. He's going to do Odin, folks. No, he's probably just going to save.
Probably just saving and going back, because, bad things happen to good people here.
I didn't actually get to see if Fusoya has weak or not, but the vanilla way to take care of Dark Elf is once he changes forms, his second form is vulnerable to status effects, so you can cast Stop on him here, you could throw a weak on him, instantly kill him. It'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do.
Magic attack in this slot also very high, as you can see, as this party takes about 80 damage total between the 5 characters. Alexa saw Dark Elf and didn't even go and save. She's just like, I got this.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame her given the way this is playing out right now. So I'm very interested to see what our runners do once they actually hit the underground here. If they're going to try to find Darkness Crystal for grind, if they're going to try to find the Luca key to grind, or if they're going to take an entirely different tact and like grind on clappers in the Sylph Cave or something. They have a lot of options available to them, just given the way the seeds played out.
Yeah, I mean, there is an option to just go into Sylph Cave with 6 key items and just decide to start quaking mobs in Sylph Cave, just throw on encounters and wander around while you collect chests and things, just to make sure you've got everything that you need. Chris and Phoenix in chat, never grind Sylph Cave. What? Sylph Cave is great! Sylph Cave's my favorite place in the game!
Of course, Dark Elf is the character with the most character growth in this game, because he does change.
I have no words for you right now, Rivers.
Nobody ever does. It's okay. So yeah, it looks like neither of them have weak, so they can throw stone out there. I think Alexa's looking for that. Alexa's going to try stone. I don't think that one's going to work.
She's fishing for the Final Fantasy 1 stat. The Final Fantasy 1 strats, I see.
And
We've
yeah,
got-
Dark Elf in this spot, of course, does not really that much damage either. So
just a healthy dragon. That's all.
he looks like Alexa tried to burst Edge while he was a pig. Pig having more priority than Bursk as well. So the status effect chain priority is very interesting in this game, and can sometimes own you like that.
They found a way to basically make it that you can only have one status effect at a time if they're not all applied at the same time.
And Swimmy has Dark Elf down.
Swimmy's also got some bacon on his screen too.
No experience for poor Edge, but that's okay. And we got a beard puddle alert at Alexa's screen. That deserves a good old-fashioned RPG dead. Yeah, there we go. Now we got a little Shane going.
There we go. All right, and Alexa is down with the Dark Elf as well. So again, not much separating these two runners in terms of how they've routed or anything. It's been a pretty linear seat so far.
Yeah, the only real difference that Swimmy took a big lead on skill and play, but gave a lot of it back doing the Eb1 Castle play for the extra chests, hoping to find, I would say, better weapons, probably, and only coming with that with a Stardust Rod.
I mean, you say only a Stardust Rod, but that is the best staff. That is the best rod in the game.
It's true. It just won't help much against Zero Miss, is what I'm saying.
That's fair. It's not like getting an Excal or something. So
Swimmy's first play is Land of Some Monsters.
Seems-
Looks like he's not going to open the chests, which I would agree with.
yeah, I mean, only one is trapped, but if you catch that one when everyone's at 1 health, the 5 warriors can kill your 5 characters pretty fast.
So there are 3 potential key items in some monsters. One of them is in a chest, which is totally free. The other 2 are guarded by Leviathan and Ashura's vanilla spots, which can range from free to very not free, depending on who's there.
What's the opposite of free? Oh yeah, they're so fast that they just melee you down in like 4 seconds.
Yeah, I've had fights where Evil Wall was at King, and that was really bad. Looks like it was Leviathan and either
Looks
Mylon
like-
or Mylon Z. You can't tell from the sprite.
Yeah, I mean, Leviathan's Leviathan in the slot, so, going to be fairly fast and do a bunch of damage. So not exactly ideal. If it's standard Mylon, it's going to be the plot of Thriller as you get overwhelmed by zombies.
Swimmy found the spoon in his free chest, and Alexa, doing a little route divergence here, is actually going to try to do the Sylph Cave first. So she does not have the pan to hit Yang, but she does have the ability to talk to Yang, find out that he's here, and get that vanilla item from Yang's wife Sheila. So that's probably her next play.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's going to go and pop a cabin and then check out what's going on here at the castle as well.
Yeah, we're about to find out what's at Dwarf Castle. Neither player should be looking for much in additional characters at this point. The question is simply what sort of things they want to, get from the fight. If they find a key item, if they find a weapon of some sort.
Well,
That could
chat's
really-
out. Sorry. Chat was out for blood because they saw a lunar boss here, but it happens to be the lunar dragons and not the queen of all dragons.
Well, the lunar dragons aren't free. We know that much. And Swimmy treating them dangerously by tossing the dart at them right off the bat. This fight actually isn't that bad given where we are party-wise, because Fusia has Quake. And Quake makes pretty short work of these guys. Could also do Fire 3, Cure 4. I mean, a lot of what you need to kill them, Enduk, is, this damage that isn't quite direct enough to attack them and start their little virus spam game.
Yep, and short work is made of the 2 lunar dragons for Swimmy. They are gone.
Look at that swag flame for 180. So Swimmy has the assassin dagger equipped that actually lowers his edge's magic stat, which he probably did not know about, or at least forgot. And we've got our gateway boss behind that. It is Octo. Pretty easy spot for Octoman.
Yeah, not going to hit too terribly hard here, and the hit points are fairly low, considering the party power that we've got.
And Pelham summarily dismissed without even a second thought.
I mean, you can't turn away the beard at this point. It's not how this works.
Fear the beard.
Swimmy not sure which spell to cast, taking a moment to menu because, you know, Fusoya has all the options.
Well, you could do the weakness spell, you could do nuke, you could do the quake, you could do Meteo. Meteo would actually heal it, by the way. Octomam is not vulnerable to holy magic, but yeah, settles on Lit 2. Good enough.
Yep, kills Kraken before it can cast nuke and then hit his white mage for 11 hits for 1100 damage. Wait, wrong game.
And Fusoya is at full power now, so that's a big help as far as these guys finding their way to grinds and other fun stuff. Sunny Nuke. I love it. I'm just glad I didn't get the only Demeron groan in this chat. All right, so the Gungnir is the reward for taking that out. It's actually a pretty good Kane in-game weapon now. So, in theory, they've got everything they would want to finish the game. They just actually need to figure out what the grind target will be and how far they're willing to go to get it.
Hey, so we haven't gotten any donations yet in a while, but I'm thinking maybe we should cut the naming incentive off at hour and a half. What do you think?
We might have to cut it earlier, honestly.
Yeah, I would say closer to 120.
Okay, so we'll say 120. So we'll give 14 more minutes if you want to try to snipe any of the top 5 names for our characters.
Snipe it up. Come on. Come on, Demeron supporters. Where are you at?
You know, White Mage is a thankless job after all.
Let's at least get that Rivers guy out of the top 5. He's stupid. I don't like him. So Swimmy has already gotten the Sylph Cave thing while we were talking, and he's about to go find out what Sheila will give this time around.
While Alexa goes to loot out Dwarf Castle at this point, wants a few more treasure chests right now. OG Kurt's asking, is the Gungnir Spear good? It's the highest defensive weapon in the game, interestingly enough. It gives, 10 or 15 vitality on top of having a pretty good attack stat overall.
It's not Kane's best weapon, but it's definitely a viable in-game weapon for him. It actually, in the vanilla game, is actually what he equipped with after the Giant of Babil.
All right, and so the reward there for talking to Sheila was the Darkness Crystal.
Ooh, here we go. Grinds are now open. So that opens up not only the D Machine grind, so a variety of different grinds in on the moon, depending on how somebody wants to play it. So I would say that we are now officially in go mode if we weren't before, but it's all a matter of what his preference will be.
Yeah, that's kind of how it ends up going.
So he is at what, one? He's at 8 key items now. He could decide to try to find more, but I think he's probably pretty safe in just going if he's ready.
grinding D machines with just life spells is always an interesting thing. You just want to make sure you have enough cabins because you're going to be using that save point and triggering the grind fight multiple times.
Well, now he does have 2 life potions. He does have 2. His choice, and I can understand, we haven't really seen a lot of this, so I'm not surprised. Alexa over here showing off our original grind that most people will use in this game, which is the egg coffin, as we talked about way earlier in the chat.
Yep. Gets a couple levels for everybody real quick for, just a moment's worth of investment time.
34,000.
Number etched in the memory of all players of this game.
Really, it's not that the D-Machine grind is all that... Oh, I'm sorry. Egg grind is all that efficient time-wise compared to everything else. It's more just that it's so easy to get to. And it's hard to mess up what you're doing in that fight that makes it kind of the preferred route for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, technically, D-Machine ends up giving you a much safer Zeromus fight because it's really easy to get yourself to, much higher levels much more quickly. It's just that, a lot of runners just don't need that kind of power.
All right, so Swimmy is going to board the great big whale here and going to at least take a gander at what's on the moon. He does have a free character there. Given his experience points right now, he may be able to parlay that into the experience bonus, perhaps, for a low-level character here. So that could give him some incentive to change. Problem is, he's got all the best characters in the game right now, basically, except for Yang. So, kind of his call.
All right, and Alexa decides to say hi to Leviathan.
Here we go.
This is very exciting. Leviathan's quite fast in, these 2 slots. I forget if the right seat is the vanilla seat or not, but...
Well, Leviathan will not do any physical attacks here. He's purely an Ice 2 caster. So given that it's not doing that much damage, I'd say she's pretty safe here. She just have to keep curing with either Fu or Rosa. And she's got lit 3 on Fu, so that'll hit his Leviathan's weak spot as well.
Plus, it's a little bit more mana efficient than casting Nuke at this point, which is a consideration here because you don't really want to go through consumables.
So Swimmy is actually charging the Lunar rather than going right to the giant. I wonder if he's going to try to take out some more bosses for key items.
Might be, but he's also skipping the Pale Dim spot on floor 3, then the alternate route down that stops at the first boss location in the Lunar Subterranean.
Well, you can do the Lunar D fight instantly, get 2 key items, be done. So I can understand his routing here, given that they have 2 chests behind them.
Yep.
Indeed, he's making Speedy Gonzalez look like regular Gonzalez. Agreed.
And Leviathan goes down for Alexa at this point.
Pretty easy fight. Not free, but not a whole lot of work required. And getting a key item for it in the adamant, which
is a rock.
Speaking of free,
yeah,
here's
that's where I was
Water
going.
Hag.
That's where I was trying to go with that one, but I don't think we have the timing down quite yet. So, so here's how you kill Water Hag: you hit it 3 times, you take its stuff.
Water Hag not even using his free time to knock somebody off their block or anything, just quietly dying. What a guy. And Alexa will now take on either Mylon or Mylon Z.
And it is Melon Z.
Swimmy picking up a light sword, which will go on Cecil. And boost things not at all. And also the Earth Crystal, so he is only one key item away from 10 for the grind.
Mylon decides to smite a white mage today.
Boy, does he. So the spot actually has a really high physical attack, though you would never see it in the regular game because Leviathan, as we just talked about, doesn't actually attack. And now I've got double Mylon Z's on the screen, although the second one on Swimmy is the elements.
Mm-hmm. Right, 4 bosses all in one, with some weird programming things that go in behind it and everything, which sometimes causes us to die faster than not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Swimmy can get past this. This is, what I think, a 20,000 experience HP slot. So perhaps this nuke will? No?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
No.
Be interesting to see if he can take it out early somewhere.
I think he just is going with Zerker strats at this point. Cecil's got the Berserk going.
Just want to give a heads up. There's 5 minutes remaining left on the naming incentive. The top 5 names right now are Choco, Demon, Tingo, Rivers, and Board. If the next place after that is Edward, which is $10 behind Demon right now. Got 5 minutes remaining.
Soulmad05 in chat asking, is the last boss also random? Nope, the last boss itself is not random. The script will always be the same, but as chat is mentioning, the sprite will change. So, we'll be fighting something interesting, I'm sure.
And so Swing picked up some experience and his 10th key item. So he is now literally free to grind whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, 10th key item being the Looka key. He could go do doors right now.
He sure could. Will he? Probably not. But it's on the table. And yes, the Z sprites, Scala recently added something like 170 more, I think it is. So yeah, we've got a whole lot of potential new sprites to see here that just popped up yesterday night.
All right, and Swimmy is now underground. Save the one siren. It's going to burn the one siren now. Get the 68,000 experience, and then wherever else to grind.
So Alexa must have noped out of that Mylon Z fight.
I think she got tired of getting elbowed in the face by the Earth Elemental.
Yeah, if she did happen to have the Moon Veil, she probably could have used that and survived it, but I don't necessarily blame her for ducking out. I'm not sure if she's used it or not yet.
And Swimmy's decision is doors.
All right, so Swimmy heading for the sealed cave here. Each one of these doors gives roughly 31,000 experience, so like a little bit more. Has like a 10 in it, I think.
31,100 experience points exactly.
Yeah, 31,100. And so he will be at level 39 party average, basically. He's probably only going to have to grind 5 or 6 of these, probably.
Yep, and with 2 people who can cast life, not having life potions is not going to be a huge detriment here. It's just going to be kind of mana management for a while.
Alexa heading for Odin now. Here we go.
She finds Mylon.
Well, Mylon's just taunting her all over today.
Go figure.
So these trapdoors have a thing where they will use Disrupt once they target somebody. That's basically the only thing in this script until they die or get close to death. If they get close to death, they can summon a different monster, but because it has the same basic experience value, it doesn't actually do anything practically different for us. And yeah, you're going to see Swimmy bop a lot of trapdoors / meticores if they pop out.
The only difference is that when the door transforms, the experience value transforms as well. It can transform into a manticore, which is worth 35,000 base experience, or it can transform into a yellow dragon, which is, we know from earlier, is worth 34,000 experience.
And really, given that there's not much need to heal at this point, Swimmy doing it for safety, but like there's really nothing that he needs to do other than have his people survive these fights.
Yep.
And we're heading now to 50 seconds toward cutoff for names, so get your last second snipes in.
Alright, Swimmy gets the Manticore transformation, then hits it once with the light sword and kills it. 70,000 experience points.
Yeah, so Swimmy is just about at the edge of being ready to go. I think he has what, low 40s? Yeah, he's pretty close now.
Yeah, he's gonna probably wrap up the doors down here and call it a day, and so, yeah.
And that's it. That's the cutoff. We did not get any snipes at the end. But I do want to remind everyone the run after this is Kirby Superstar, and there is an any percent versus 100% bid war. Right now, 100% is winning $15 to 0. And there might be someone in chat who might know something about Final Fantasy IV that might be running Kirby after this. I don't know.
Do you know who he's talking about, Demeron?
I actually have no idea.
He's talking about the man Sonny Wrath.
I think
Sonny
it's
Wrath
some
11
Link to
will
the
be
Past
bonus.
runner. I don't know. I could be mistaken. Some Zelda runner.
Zeldo. Man, that's Zeldo. So yeah, if you guys want to get in there and bop that, make Sonny play 100% or any percent, whichever your preference is. Feel free. Alexa just taking care of Odin, picking up the crystal sword for her troubles. That's a really nice weapon to find in this kind of seed and will boost Cecil's damage by a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna see Cecil putting out some gigantic numbers in the final fight once she gets there. Truly, Alexa knows how to name the characters.
I'm surprised she didn't pick you for that one. Oh wait, she can't. Because
She can't.
your friends did not step up. Come on, Demeron's friends. What's this?
I couldn't get the couldn't get the support of the Final Fantasy One or the Final Fantasy One community. It looks like. So Rivers, how does it feel to be named after the to be the name assigned to the best character in the game?
Feels good, man. These naming incentives always are interesting to see. I'm glad we've got like a community standard now, though, so that can come into play a little bit later.
Wait, what do you mean by community standard?
Just well, we've got the meme started. We know that who gets named after what now, but also we've got sort of the timing of it all in the right spot. Looks like
We've done good.
so. Somebody's got this. Might be his last trapdoor, given where he's at
Yeah.
level wise. He's looking pretty
Yeah.
good.
He's got Cure 4 and Rosa, so he's in good shape there. Wall's a little slow to cast, doesn't get it off, so I was just gonna have to go back to punching doors.
Yeah, you can actually reflect the disrupt if you happen to get Wall off in time. However, he did not, and instead he just, focused on whopping whatever was next, and hooray! Everybody wins.
Yep, kills off the yellow dragon that popped out of the door, and a couple more levels for everybody.
So he will have to rename his characters, but then we will see the pass in action, I bet.
Yeah, he's not quite satisfied yet, so he's gonna take down another door at this point.
Suppose you can't blame him for playing it safe in a marathon?
No one likes wiping the Zeromus. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
I love wiping the Zeromus. I do it every time I stream.
I mean, I think I've done it on race restreams 5 times now.
That's solid work there.
Yeah, no, you give your life to the cause. Ravlin Bay mentioning in chat, don't sell the pass. I'm sure Ravlin has never done that before.
So Alexa getting to throw away her Sid now. Be interesting to see if she wants to also find a 10th key item before she gets her grind going, or if she's just going to go.
Grind the moon and call it a day.
The crystal sword actually would make me more willing to do less grinding / make this faster and not worry about the 10 key items. But of course, it is a marathon, so we shall see.
Yep. So we'll see what boss Alexa finds here in the Paladin spot. It's the dual Baron guards.
Well, that's one of the freer boss spots of the game as well. So
Yeah, they hit hard, but they are susceptible to the hourglass, so they're going to stand still for a little while and let Alexa just take some swings for free.
And boy, if that crystal sword, free is the operative word. Looks like we got replaced in the chat, Demeron. So I'm going to let Invenerable and Scala start commentating now. I'm just going to lay back and not do anything.
That sounds pretty good. We've been at this for 1 hour and 26 minutes. This is the longest Final Fantasy IV race I've ever had to commentate.
These are not quick flags now. You're right about that.
Yeah, they were already worried about finishing under 3 hours as it is.
Must say I'm surprised by that, but they're both good runners. But yeah, these flags can be trolly for sure.
Yep, they can give pretty serious problems without all those J items early on. You get the wrong characters and it's slow going.
And Swimmy is done, so Swimmy warping out now. He will be headed for the rename room, I'm guessing, and then probably to Zeramus right away on the.
He better rename his characters or I'll be very disappointed.
Nuke getting high placement here. Rosa has been leveled to the point where she probably will survive most big bangs. Pretty much everybody should survive except for Fu right now at this point. Fu might be a slight risk.
I mean, you can just slap the old protect ring on and it's fine.
And he does have the Stardust Rod on Swimmy, so that'll work too. Here comes the name changes for the lulls.
Just remember, everybody, if you don't like these names, it's your fault for not voting.
So I do have one donation that just came in. Professor NES donated 15 Neo Shekels. Okay, time to bring the KSS bid war back into balance, unless someone already has. I mean, in which case, I may need to push 100% back into the lead. Nope, that put it in the tie. It is a perfect tie right now. Any percent versus 100% Kirby Superstar after this.
Looks like we're going to have to see some bid action to settle this, guys. So,
Swimmy making an interesting metagame choice here, Rivers, and deciding to give your name to the to Old Man Beard instead. What do you think about this play?
I mean, if he wipes the Zeramus, it will be his own fault, clearly. But I don't really. It doesn't actually bother me at all. All right, so you're going to see now the pass come into play. Part of the development of this game was to remove the vanilla pass room that was kind of like a burlesque bar area and replace it with this path straight to Zeramus. And you're about to see Swimmy go down it after he saves.
Here we go. Alexa, on the other hand, found Evil Wall at Wyvern Spot, so normally a less scary spot in the underworld, but it's going to give her some troubles here, because Evil Wall hits hard, and you don't normally see the melee attacks in the spot.
Successful illusion use, and here come the blinks. Will they be fast enough to save her is the question.
We shall see. Looks like the answer might just be no, as she takes a reset.
All right, so let me go into the moon.
Here we go.
One of the big things, of course, is looking out at who will be our Zeramus sprite here. Whose butt we gonna kick, as Ska would say.
As she mentions right in chat. Right on time. High Spirits is chanting for Slimemas because this is a Dragon Quest stream.
All right, so we've got some laughter. We've got some laughter as Fishmas comes to play. Fish-o-miss, sorry. Don't want to make things up now. As the chat points out, this is a little fishy.
All right, chat. I'm gonna ask you to bring out your fish puns right now. You know, we're a pun positive community here, so bring it on.
Well, some of us are. Anyway, typically the Zeramus fight is going to be fought using a lot of the burst spell that we brought up earlier. Makes our characters really fast to the punch. I think Board already has it on him. And Choco over here is darting some things.
Yeah, on the top screen for everybody, Alexa got the quick kill with Ice 3 on the Rubicon phase of elements, so only saw the first two elements for what it is worth.
So we've got bursts coming on Demon and Tingle. And kind of the main metagame of this fight in most modes right now is to burst as many of the frontline characters as you can, and either try to nerf the big bangs or just kind of sit it out. Swimmy has enough HP to do either.
Yep.
Boy, those big bang numbers are a little fishy.
Ah.
Chat is making me laugh too much to even continue commentating, but
Yeah,
this is pretty free at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even without the slowdown on Zeromus, it looks like Swimmy is just, doing standard white mage strats and getting through this one just fine. Which is kind of how you want it to go. You want your white mages to sort of just lock in and do their job while you just get your berserkers up and rolling, and then you can just kind of watch the fight go by.
Scala, I hope you are enjoying what you just unleashed on the world here. So the Zeromus fight has a couple of different phases, one of which is the early phase, and then he HP refills which you've done over a certain amount of HP, which I believe Swimmy has either hit or is about to hit. And at that point, he will start changing his script up and using nuke more liberally.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, not a whole lot changes from this point on as far as the strategy for most Zeromus fights, but just you will see some of those pop out here.
Yep.
Jesus.
Chat is delivering, and I appreciate it so much. And here comes one of those nukes, as River said, would come out as this phase continues on.
Yeah, Swimmy doesn't actually have a whole lot to do in this fight. He's keeping his berserkers healed and re-berserking them. So after he does that, it's basically Zeromus and Gil.
And Alexa's heading down, it looks like. Is she good? Has she decided that she's good?
She must have.
I think she's a little lighter on the levels, because she didn't go door grind, but yeah, it looks like
She does have the crystal sword, though, so that makes up a little bit.
It makes up a lot, yeah.
Oh, look at that. We're ruining people's Amazon products. I feel happy.
I would say that's unfortunate, but that would be an awful lie on my part.
So she's at lower 40s here. Not impossible in any situation, but she will need to be a little bit more careful than Swimmy has to be, because Swimmy is kind of in a mode where he can just wait it out here.
Yeah, he's pretty well in fire and forget mode here. Yeah, it looks like he's got the Protect Ring out there on Fusoya as well, so not getting nuked too hard.
So once Fishermiss here takes a little bit more damage, you will see the final phase of a Zeromus fight, which is the Meteor mode. And once Meteor starts spamming off, it doesn't do very much damage. It gets a little bit nerfed. But yeah, it'll just be kind of the signifying sign that the race is almost over. Or that could happen.
Right, or it could just do enough damage with the nuke to push the threshold without, and we just go to the end.
All right, so that's a dot done from Swimmy. I'm gonna call it a 157, 137, 50 something. Yeah,
Yeah.
13753 according to our great restreamer, Spirits. And Alexa is about to start her version of this.
Yeah, don't notice those hit point numbers are a fair bit lower here, but she's also starting off by casting slow, so going to try and take advantage of slowing down the boss anyways.
And while that's happening, we'll get to see a fish fry full of key item locations on Sumi's screen. Where else they could have gone in the seed.
Yep. Again, people mentioning that use of the name Alexa is causing problems with their Amazon products, and so I'm going to keep doing it.
Just a heads up, we still have a tie for Kirby Superstar. If someone wants to break the tie, or we leave it up to Saw to decide what he wants to do.
Oh, don't give him the choice. He won't pick anything fun.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Saw hates fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does play Kirby Superstar, so no. Sonny's been a real good FF4 community member for a long time. I'm looking forward to watching his run after this. After we get a little bit more fishy.
Mm-hmm. Although we do get the nuke on the wrong target up there. Although clean nerf on the Big Bang, it doesn't do a ton of damage anyways, which is always nice.
Yeah, Miss LeFay has definitely done a great job with fights, and the Crystal Sword can kind of carry her a little bit further than Sumi's party was able to, because he didn't really have a top-notch weapon on anybody.
Yeah, it's always interesting seeing how, the length of one Zeromus fight can really vary based upon just one piece of equipment here or there.
And on Sumi's side, you can start seeing where the pink tail was.
A couple of quick donations. We got $25 from Muppets in Space. And they put it towards 100%. So that puts 100% in the lead by $25. And we had a $130 donation from Cupcake Chris. With no message, but thank you all very much. From Space!
Wow, that's amazing. And we're so close to 4,000 now. Only a little bit over $50 away, so keep it coming, guys. This has been amazing. Looks like we're about to get the Swimmy host as well.
Yeah.
No real surprise that Swimmy knew how to fight the fishes. And yeah, these nerfs are really spot on by Miss LeFay.
Yeah, it's been a top-notch fight, but don't wanna jinx it. We're still pushing through.
Yep. The important thing will be just keep Demon Burst here, so that the Crystal Sword can do its job. I hate the stream. I love the stream so much right now.
The community has delivered, and I appreciate it so much. Alexa taking a moment to check her MP count, make sure she's got enough juice in the tank for one more nuke, which she does, so...
So where does the sprite actually come from anyway?
We'll have to ask Scala later.
I'm sure somebody will say it in the chat. That's why I just brought it up now.
That's also true. I mean, sometimes you just want to have a rad fish.
So I believe we're pretty close here. Live a live. Okay.
It's an anime thing. All right, and as we can see on Alexa's screen, we've got rocks falling. That does signal basically the end of the fight. That's at, what, 12,000 or 11,000 hit points? I always forget.
Yeah, I think it's 11, but this will be over in short order. As we talked about earlier, the zero miss phases are pretty constant, and we got the dot dome from Alexa.
Live Alive is actually a Squaresoft Super Nintendo game that only is in Japan only.
Seems legit.
And you thought it was an anime thing. Look at that.
I mean, basically all Squaresoft RPGs that didn't make it to the States are an anime, so it's fine.
Actually, there's like, it's not really anime game, believe it or not. It's like, it's a multi-storied RPG. Like, there's like 5 or 6 characters with totally different stories, and
So it's Octopath Traveler.
I don't know. I don't have a Switch. I guess. It's Odin Sphere, okay? But yeah.
Odin Sphere is a great game.
So, Alexa, fry me up a fish, and that's all over. Thank you very much for having us for this stream. Seem to be 2 pretty good players making some good plays, and was not too difficult for them at all, given kind of how everything shook out.
Hi there.
Hi there.
That is sure one of our 2 runners. How do you feel about this run tonight?
I thought it was just delightful. This is a nice seed. We didn't see the wyvern. Why burn us, you know? Hey, Swimmy. GG.
Thanks. GG yourself.
Oh man, that was easily the lowest levels that I've ever done the Z fight.
Really? What level were you?
I was like 40, like low 40s.
Low 40s, dang.
Yeah, she found the crystal sword, whereas Swimmy, you did not.
I definitely did not.
You tried. Bless you. You tried diving in the Edwin Castle there, which Alexa didn't do. But Alexa found that on Odin spot. So.
Oh, I considered Odin, and I thought,
It was Scarmiglione and his little zombie friends.
Did you happen to run into Wyvern at all?
I didn't know. Did you?
No, I'm sorry.
Did you get the?
Everyone hoping to see us die horribly.
Did you get the 200,000 XP water hag?
It was only 100,000 when I got there.
Yeah,
Nice.
Swimmy actually went to the moon early, got to 10 key items, then did the door grind. So
Oh, okay.
I was hoping against
That
hope.
if I could find the darkness crystal.
I was hoping that the boss right at that position would be really easy, something really easy where I could get the experience and maybe get the 10 key items, and then it was Water Hag, and I was like, yay!
Yeah, water hag is always a really good sight at
Unless
that
you're
boss
playing
spot.
with free lunch too.
Oh yeah, NFL 2 is not a good time.
Yeah.
So did we have any commentary from you guys on?
Sorry, go on.
Did you guys have commentary on the Zerma sprite? Because that's what we all want to know about, and we also want to know your best pun for the Zerma sprite.
I mean,
I can't
something
be
smelled sort of off about it. Like I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was suspicious of this Zero Miss sprite. I just felt like an air of like a smell kind of salmon.
Hey, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
with 3 donations coming in, we are now over $4,000.
Yay!
3 days. Wow.
Wow!
We had a $5 anonymous donation, a $20 donation from Yozetz that says GG Alexa, and $92 from